Micah, and then the freshman kid, Larry Scott.
Well, we won't have any final word on Larry Scott till probably tomorrow. I think MRI scheduled either tonight or tomorrow.
Twisted knee.
Yeah, but it, you know, I'm worried about what it might be. So, we'll see. And then Micah, we don't know if he's going to have surgery or not, but he has a, and I'm not don't know what bone for sure, but he has a broken bone in his hand, and so he's out for at least 6 weeks.
How about Mitchell?
He is tight hamstrings, abdominal tightness.
You know what happened to Micah, or was it?
Yeah, it was just he was running a curl route, and the ball was thrown to him, and the very simple rule is you put your hands around the ball, not through it. So it just hit his thumb like dead on right here, and that happens all the time. You just don't see the injury like that all the time. You know.
Say anything about it? His reaction when you kind of told him what happened?
No, as a matter of fact, Rico told him so.
So when he was all iced up, was it just precautionary?
Yeah. You know, he's not in any of the interactions, so once we do the individual stuff, he's out right now. Same with Jenkins, same with James.
Did you talk with James at all about today was the first day he had the brace on? I mean, he looked the same, but he didn't say anything to you about, you know?
Yeah, I asked him, and he said, you know, he didn't have any big reaction to it. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders. No big deal.
Is the tempo what you want for getting another snap in and the play?
You know, I like it. I think that you know, we've been out on the field for long periods of time during this time of year, and that's okay too. But I thought, you know, for both, you know, the pace, the tempo, and kind of the pressure to execute, you know, just keep it coming a little bit. I think that's good, and I think it adds a little bit to the conditioning factor too.
Previous camps, you've had to rest like a Matt Moore or Canfield for too much pitch counts. Does it look like that's going to be any kind of an issue with Ryan, or because he's so fresh and not doing a lot of spring throws? Is it?
You know, I think only, Paul, if we get some slight indication that he's tiring or sore.
Yeah.
You know, and otherwise, you know, for 3 days here, it's been very good. But that's the kind of thing we do check on all the time.
On the defensive side of the ball, Watkins is coming in, first-year starter.
Who's that?
Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah, at safety. Have you had a chance to, I know you spent a lot of time with the offense.
Oh, you know, Anthony Watkins has worked so hard in this program for so long, and he played a lot last year. He kind of worked his way into that, and probably the only reason, you know, at that time that we could think about moving Cam Collins to linebacker was that we were confident that Anthony was going to be able to play. And so I think we have two of the finest safeties in the country, you know, right now, and I'm really proud of them. I think they're good players and very good leaders. Anthony's come a long ways. He had the injury bug for a couple of years, and now that he's been able to play for an extended period of time, it's just kind of showing the kind of player that he is.
Fromm's personality is pretty contagious. He seems to just fire up his teammates to no end out there with.
Yeah, the neat thing about that too, Paul, is you can't do that without having done the work. You know, I mean, that would be real phony if, you know, if you were a guy that was I suppose a slacker. But he's a leader. If I asked anybody on the team, you know, who's the hardest 3 workers in the weight room, he would always be named as one of those 3. So, you know, he does the work. He's committed. I think just generally very well respected by this team.
Mike, you mentioned Cam moving to linebacker. How is that transition going? I know he did it last year. But
you know, I thought by the end of the year Cam was very comfortable playing, and that's hard to do in a short period of time, to become comfortable in a new position when you're somewhat of an older player. I thought he did a great job, and I think it's just carried on from there. And I'm thinking, you know, even though it's hard to lose 2 starting outside backers, Roberson and Pankey, we have really good athletes, and I think that's just another one of the reasons we have to have a great camp. These guys just have to get real comfortable with assignments so that they can use that athletic ability within the scheme of what we're doing.
Can you talk a little more about the pace with the team, with the, you know, the way the plays are coming in, how that's
the players are reacting to it?
Yeah, it basically, we're having two huddles going offensively, and the defense, some positions are rotating every play, some positions are staying in for 4 at a time, but these two huddles keep coming at them. You know, we run a play, and then as the play finishes and they're starting to come back, that next group's taking the line, so the time between plays is drastically reduced. And you know, just for an example, we usually, with one team running one huddle at a time, in 10 minutes you can average about 12 plays. Doing this, you can get about 20. So that's just more repetitions for the guys.
Mike, can you tell me a little bit about Brandon Cooks?
Brandon Cooks is a gifted athlete, and he has made an impressive start. You know, he's a very accomplished route runner right now. You know, I think he knows how to break down. He knows how to run a comeback, and he's shown to have very good hands, and he's shown to be very good at, and possibly will be one of our punt returners, and that's a real good thing. So he's made, for 3 days, you know, he's made a nice impression. Oh yeah, that guy's a football player. He could play a number of spots. He could be a safety, but he's really looks comfortable playing our slot back receiver position right now. So very smooth, very good hands, very tough.
Was that Mulaney's welcome to the Pac-12 moment? The little tap from Harden on the sideline?
Yeah, he got, a few people have had that happen to them in their life. So, you know, it was probably a little bit eye-opening, but you know what? This guy is going to be a real good player too. He's made a good first impression and made a lot of nice catches, and he's got real quick release, and he runs well. So he came back and survived that.
It almost seems like these guys are itching for the pads and the contact more than some of the previous teams. I know that everybody's anxious every year, but it seems even more so this year.
That's an interesting impression. I've kind of thought that too, you know, but it's kind of good that we have these rules, because we're just in shorts. You know, we got shoulder pads on, so we're not supposed to be scrimmaging. I mean, so sometimes it looks like they are, but they're not supposed to be.
Any noticeable difference between camp last year and camp this year?
Not right now. You know, I'd be making it up if I said that. You know, I think that heck, you know, it was you know, you look back, it was a very disappointing year, but you know, it was football, and it was a great example, and hopefully a great lesson. I mean, a couple plays in a couple games, we're not only a bowl team, we're playing right up for a chance to win it again, or be in a pretty darn good bowl game. So, you know, that all we are doing now is to prepare to win all the games, and we're going to have to win some of them in the fourth quarter, and we lost too many of them in the fourth quarter last year.
Mike, can you talk about Jordan Bishop's progression in this?
You know, I was worried about him, and he had that surgery, and he was out of spring ball, and I didn't know where he'd be. I've actually been impressed. You know, I'm happy with what we've seen so far. So I think he's doing a good job. He's just a great big target and great hands. And my goal is for him to have a really much better understanding of his position on the field as a receiver, of what he's doing and how it fits into beating a defense.